All right, this is the, I guess, sister video to the video that I put up yesterday where I was reacting to all the new mega stats. Today, what I want to look at are the move pool additions to the megas, because I think that that's actually something pretty, or not to the megas, to like every Pokemon in the game, because I think that's really interesting. And I know that this is an incomplete list of buffs, but I couldn't find any more complete one. But beyond that, we can look at some of the changes to moves natively in Legends EA once we're done here, because they did rework a bunch of moves and I want to talk about them. Anyways, let's begin. So scroll up here and we're going to begin with Beedrill, who got dual wing beat. I suppose that's kind of good for Mega Beedrill. It gives it a flying type move. Not that Beedrill really needed that. It already was hitting grass types pretty well. And I'm not sure how much of a buff this really is. You still want to run U-turn, drill run, and like poison jab, you know. Pidgeot getting dual wing beat, that's completely useless. Raichu, I guess Mega Raichu getting Dazzling Gleam and Drain Punch. That's like one buff for each of them. Mega Raichu Y can now hit dragon types. Mega Raichu X now has recovery. Alolan Raichu getting Dazzling Gleam, you know, same deal. Here's a big one. Wigglytuff, Fake Out and Moonblast. That's huge. So Wigglytuff has competitive, right? But the main issue with Wigglytuff is that it sucks. It doesn't hit very hard. That being said, having Fake Out means that it is just like 1% more viable in VGC. But Moonblast also means that it isn't stuck clicking Dazzling Gleam or Alluring Voice. Moonblast is definitely the best fairy move in the game. So, or at least the best fairy move that they'll give Wigglytuff. They'll probably... There are more broken ones. Like if it got Flare Cannon, yeah, run Flare Cannon, but it doesn't.
This channel is partnered with Gamersupps. If you want to support my work and get great tasting drinks, you can order Gamersupps through my link in the description down below or with code Moxie boosted at checkout for 10% off. Gamersupps is a caffeinated product that I recommend only to my 18+ viewers, but my link will send you to their caffeine-free product section just in case. Every product purchased through my link supports my channel financially, so I'd really appreciate the support. Now back to the video.
That's pretty awesome. Persian gets spikes, pretty solid for singles. Alolan Persian, spikes and toxic spikes is huge. Machamp gets Drain Punch. I was not aware it didn't already get Drain Punch. Interesting. Or I guess this is a Legends EA moveset buff. Like some of these are moves that they already got, but now they're just getting Legends EA. I'm pretty sure it's just that Drain Punch wasn't in the game for ZA. Slowbro, Ancient Power, it's kind of inconsequential. Trailblaze on Farfetch'd, it's whatever. Alola Marowak already got most of these moves. I don't believe he got Fissure though, so that's pretty cool. Starmie, Triple Axle is actually huge for Mega Starmie in the main series games if it keeps that. You know, it just means that it has a busted attack to hit Pokemon with. Like, it doesn't get Ice Punch, right? So having an Ice type attack as a Water type is usually really useful for hitting Flying types. So yeah, Mega Starmie now has Triple Axle. You can run like Triple Axle, Zen Headbutt, Liquidation, Aqua Jet, that sort of thing. We got Rocks on Mr. Mime, First Impression, Triple Axle. Really, the only big things are Haze and Rocks. Nothing else really matters for Mime. Dual Wing Beat on Pinsir's huge. Mega Pinsir actually didn't have any moves in this game to actually hit with its Flying Stab. It literally just didn't get any good flying moves. I think it got like Aerial Ace, but Dual Wing Beat's like pretty decent. Dragonite getting Vacuum Wave, kind of cool for Mega Dragonite. That's a special attacker. Mewtwo Discharge Vacuum Wave, inconsequential really. Mewtwo already wasn't going to run Vacuum Wave, it was going to run Aura Sphere. Alligator getting Icicle Spear is pretty cool. It has like a really good ice move now. It already got Ice Punch and Ice Fang, but I think that Spear is kind of cool. Ariados, First Impression, huge buff. Huge buff. I think it already got it in the main series games. Crobat, Night Slash, Knockoff, Psychic Fangs. The only new thing the only new things here I think are Knockoff and Psychic Fangs. Pretty sure it already got Night Slash, but Knockoff Crobat seems really cool. That's actually kind of crazy. Tailwind, Knockoff, Taunt would be a really cool set. Slowking, Ancient Power, yeah, we already saw these. Heracross at Circle Throws, whatever. Skarmory getting Scale Shot's crazy. That's a Dragon type move. It now hits Garchomp for super effective. Mega Skarmory, you know, already didn't really care too much about the defenses, so getting that defense drop is going to be kind of whatever. I don't think it's going to be like super useful in VGC, but in singles that might be decent. Tyranitar gets Scorching Stance and Scale Shot. I think the only cool thing here is Scale Shot. Not Sword Stance, I don't think he gets Sword Stance, but Scale Shot to Speed Boost is kind of cool. Dragon Rush Sceptile probably doesn't matter for the main series games. You're, you know, a special attacker when you Mega. These two moves don't really matter for Blaziken. I guess Drain Punch. Drain Punch is kind of cool. I'm pretty sure it used to just, you know, what's it called? It used to just have to close combat or high jump kick or whatever. But getting Drain Punch here is kind of nice. It makes it so like in singles, leftovers Blaziken with like substitute is probably a set you can run. Swords Dance, substitute, Drain Punch, Flare Blitz. Swampert gets Fissure and Sludge Bomb. It's kind of whatever. You're not going to run Fissure on a Mega Swampert. Sludge Bomb is kind of decent. Might have already gotten that too. Aggron gets Scorching Sands. Most useless move ever on Aggron. Blaze Kick on Metacham is kind of good. I think it already got Fire Punch, so it's like a less accurate Fire Punch, I'm pretty sure. But like it hits harder. Manectric, Trailblaze, Flame Charge, it's kind of whatever. Hypnosis on Grumpig, it's kind of whatever. I'm pretty sure it already got that. Petal Dance Altaria is interesting. I mean, like, it now has grass coverage as a dragon flying type. I suppose that helps into, like, I don't know, Iron Bundle, but you're gonna get confused. It's Petal Dance's grass type outrage. Fake Out for Zangoose is really cool. You can fake out, activate your Toxic Orb, and then, like, start sweeping. Skill Shot Seviper. I'm pretty sure Seviper gets Swords Dance, so Swords Dance Skill Shot is now set. And it also gets, like, Earthquake, so, like, Swords Dance Skill Shot, Earthquake, and Gunk Shot. Probably a set. Calm Mind Milotic actually scares me a little bit. I think that's, like, the one move we shouldn't have given Milotic. It's already really annoying to deal with like, leftovers and coil sets. So, gotta play carefully around that. It could be, like, one of the most annoying Pokemon in the history of the game if it just continues like this. I mean, like, I don't want to have to do anything against that. Like, I guess Rillaboom makes it easier, and now that Terra's gone, it's a lot, like, more reliable. It's a lot more reliable way to KO it, but it seems just kind of frustrating. Kecleon. Power Whip, First Impression, Scale Shot. Those are the three big ones. I'm pretty sure it already got Giga Impact because it was a normal type physical attacker. But these are kind of cool. With Protean in the main series games, you can become a bug type turn 1. Ooh, now you have more weaknesses. Awesome. Getting a grass move is pretty interesting, and I suppose being able to become dragon type is kind of cool. Doesn't seem super consequential though. Bayonet. The only important buff here is Icicle Spear. Mega Bayonet, I don't believe, had ice coverage before, so now being able to have Icicle Spear is a little bit useful. Not that it would really fit in on the moveset. Chimecho gets Amnesia, Boom Burst, Water Pulse, Flash Cannon, and Meteor Beam. These are all major buffs to Chimecho. It wants to use, like, all these moves except for maybe Amnesia. But Boom Burst, if it gets the right ability in the main series games, is going to be crazy. Water Pulse is kind of whatever. Flash Cannon means that it actually has Stab when it Mega Evolves. And Meteor Beam means that Chimecho can now use freaking Power Herb, so... Absol got Phantom Force and Shadow Sneak. That's exclusively just because it got the Ghost typing in its Z Mega form, so that's very useful. Scale Shot, Salamence, I think it might have already gotten it. Maybe it didn't, but these are just two speed boosting moves. Moxie Salamence in the main series games is probably going to be kind of good with Scale Shot and, like, loaded dice, because you can just speed boost over and over again. Latios gets Work Up and Wish. I'm VGC, we don't really care about these. Kyogre gets Icicle Spear, it's kind of whatever. Power Gem, Groudon, cool. You gave Kyogre a physical move and Groudon a special move, awesome. Rayquaza gets Dragon Rush and Whirlwind, very useless for those two. Staraptor gets Brick Break, Bulk Up, Knockoff, Outrage, Low Sweep, and Blaze Kick. Those are all huge buffs. Staraptor now gets a Fire type move. It's also Fighting type in its Mega form, so Brick Break is kind of cool for this game. It's probably going to use Close Combat in the main series games. Bulk Up is obviously quite nice. Knockoff and Outrage. Those are just useful moves, I guess. And singles, Outrage is probably going to be okay on certain sets. Though you'd probably want to just click Brave Bird most of the time since it's going to be stronger. But if you need to hit a dragon type, you know, that's the option that you have. Knockoff is definitely, like, the biggest buff here. Roserade gets a Mortal Spin. I don't even know what to say about this. They gave Mortal Spin to a few Pokemon in this DLC, and it is kind of crazy. Now Roserade can just lead off and poison something. That's kind of cool. Nasty Plot, Garchomp. That is because of a buff that I don't know if I want to talk about, because if I talk about it, maybe they'll take down the video. But yeah, we'll come back to you. Ice Hammer on Abomasnow means that its physical movesets when Mega Evolving are now an option, and that's kind of cool. I mean, like, it was already, you know, able to run, like, Wood Hammer, but now you do get Wood Hammer and Ice Hammer, which could be a pretty solid combo. You're usually just going to want to click Blizzard, though. I mean, like, Blizzard is broken. So kind of an okay buff there. Porygon Z now gets Volt Switch, which is actually really sick. It means that it has a pivoting move. I guess it makes Scarf Porygon Z a little bit more viable. You can just like switch in and out with Volt Switch. Flash Cannon, I'm pretty sure it already had, but if it didn't, I guess it's kind of cool. Rotom gets Parabolic Charge, Parting Shot, Taunt, Agility Curse. Yeah, I guess it's really just Parting Shot that matters there. Parting Shot Rotom means that it is able to, I mean, I already had Volt Switch to pivot, but now it has like the option to like lower offenses. So Heatran gets First Impression. I don't know. I've been told that this matters. I've been told that this matters somewhat, in that you'd be able to like maybe take on Latios now. So that's kind of cool. I don't know. It just seems like an okay buff. Darkrai, Future Sight, Shadow Sneak, Crunch, Icicle Spear, Vacuum Wave. I think Vacuum Wave is like the only substantial buff here. Future Sight's kind of cool in singles. I don't know if it's really going to use it. Shadow Sneak, it's not really a physical attacker. I guess the Mega Form can be a physical attacker, but it's not, you know, going to be nearly as good as the special attacking set. Emboar now gets Vacuum Wave and Solar Blade. Not sure how much that's going to matter. Liepard, Parting Shot, all three Elemental Fangs, Crunch, Swords Dance, Agility, X Scissor, Psychic Fangs, First Impression. I mean, Liepard, I'm actually not even sure what Liepard's physical attack stat is, but if it's decent, that's actually like kind of huge. Hold on. Let's get Liepard in here. 88. Yeah, I mean, like Swords Dance, Liepard. Do you get Swords Dance? You have to get Swords Dance, right? There's no way they would not give you Swords Dance. They don't give it Swords Dance. Okay. Okay. I mean, like Choice Band Liepard, kind of cool. Maybe if they gave it U-turn. That being said, Parting Shot's still kind of cool. You can like choice Parting Shot, Ice Fang, Thunder Crunch, Ice Fang, Thunder Fang, Crunch. Yeah, that's actually really nice. Made Liepard a little bit better. All three of the Elemental Monkeys get Fake Out now, which is something that I think should have been done a while ago. And they're a decent speed tier, so it's actually pretty substantial. Blaze Kick on Simisear. You're pretty sure these guys are all mostly physical attackers, aren't they? Right. 98, 98. I guess they're mixed attackers. Still, not bad. Musharna gets Tri Attack. Audino gets Tri Attack. I guess Audino likes Tri Attack. That's kind of cool. Whole bunch of buffs to throw. Close Combat, Gunk Shot, Seed Bomb, Iron Defense, Iron Head, Dynamic Punch, Outrage, Amnesia, Rock Blast. Sock gets Mach Punch, Outrage, Dynamic Punch, Swords Dance, Body Slam, Iron Head, Drain Punch, and Blaze Kick. I guess Swords Dance, Sock. Probably like the more interesting one of these two. It already has decent attack in bulk, not like incredible. Throw, on the other hand, has like pretty good bulk, 120 HP, 85 in both defenses. It's actually a really, really bulky Pokemon when you look at it now. So it having access to, what is this? It having access to, does it get Drain Punch? You get Drain Punch, right? It doesn't get Drain Punch. Oh, no Drain Punch. Okay, well, I guess it's still alright. Scolipede gets Mortal Spin, huge. First Impression, huge. I think Mortal Spin Mega Scolipede could be actually really terrifying. Cofagrigus gets Psyshock, Parting Shot, Thunder Wave, Stealth Rock, Icy Wind. Thunder Wave and Stealth Rock, huge buffs, obviously. Icy Wind's pretty good in doubles, too. I think Parting Shot's the biggest thing, though. You know, give this thing Parting Shot, it goes crazy. They gave Amoonguss Toxic Spikes. Thanks. And Fairy Coverage and First Impression. Electros now gets Poison Fang and Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs is actually a pretty good buff for it. You're breaking screens now. Galarian Stunfisk gets Toxic. Awesome. But it actually gets one more move that isn't listed here, and that's how I knew it was an incomplete list. Oh, excuse me. It now gets Magnet Bomb, which Magnet Bomb was completely reworked. It's now 95 base power, so that's kind of crazy. Galarian Stunfisk now has a good Steel-type move. Better than Iron Head. Speaking of which, Golurk gets Iron Head. Terrakion gets Heavy Slam and Head Smash. I think Head Smash Terrakion is actually absurd because Terrakion has a good speed tier. Why are we giving you Head Smash? 129 attack, 108 speed, Head Smash. That's crazy. All right. Virizion gets Horn Leech. That's actually pretty good for it. It has a really solid physical attack now. It already had like Leaf Blade, but now, you know, you can use the special bulk a little bit better. Iron Defense, Stealth Rock, Poison Jab. No moveset changes to Cobalian's crazy. Why not give it Magnet Bomb? Does it get Magnet Bomb? Maybe that's part of the incomplete moveset buffs, because Magnet Bomb Cobalion actually sounds kind of cool. Keldeo, Earth Power, Ice Beam. These are huge. Ice Beam is something that Keldeo didn't get before. Now it's able to take on Dragon types. It's able to take on Garchomp a little bit easier. Screen, Stealth Rock, Zen Headbutt, Whirlpool, Waterfall. Meloetta gets Flip Turn. That's cool. It gets Pivoting Move now. Power Gem, Agility. Genesect gets Lunge, Shadow Ball, and Ancient Power. I mean, yeah. Physical Move Pool go crazy. Has 120 attack, 120. Yeah, it's a mixed attacker. I don't know why I always assumed it was like just a pure special attacker. So I guess, like, you know, both sides getting buffed is nice. Chestnut gets Solar Blade, it's kind of whatever. Delphox gets Charge Beam, that's kind of whatever. Greninja getting Vacuum Wave is actually pretty big. You know, fighting type priority. Drain Punch on Diggersby. In the main series games, that matters. In this game, no, because he doesn't get freaking huge power. Blaze Kick and Sky Tech. Talonflame getting Blaze Kick is interesting because it means that it can maintain its Gale Wings for its flying move, right? Can maintain Gale Wings on its flying move while still having access to a fire type attack that won't give it recoil. What is it? It's 85 power, 90 accuracy. That being said, like, your attack stat is so low, 81. Probably just want to Flare Blitz. Float Eternal gets Trailblaze, it's whatever. Solar Blade, Go-Go's, whatever. Moonblast, Teleport, Tri-Attack. They buffed both Meowstics. Meowstic got, like, the most buffs in this game. It's kind of crazy. Because, like, when the initial game released, it got so many new moves. Malamar gets Octolock. Kind of interesting. I guess maybe you could skill swap Octolock a partner. I don't know how much Octolock's going to matter for Malamar. Maybe it does, actually. You can trap in, like, a physical attacker, Octolock them in, and then superpower them and boost. That's kind of cool. Heliolisk. Shed-Tail Heliolisk is actually pretty huge. That's a huge buff. Because... Wait, is it also 70 HP? Okay, no. Okay, so here's the funny thing. Every Shed-Tail user actually has the same HP stat. Heliolisk now has the lowest HP stat of all of them because it was 70, 70, 70. We now have officially the weakest Shed-Tail user. The substitute is not strong. Aurorus gets Ice Hammer, is kind of whatever. Fake Out on Dedenne seems just kind of overdue. Gudra, Ancient Power, Noivern gets Scale Shot. It's a special attacker. Trailblaze, Seed Bomb, Solar Blade on Xerneas is kind of cool. 3 grass moves, don't know why they did that. Yveltal gets Vacuum Wave, that's pretty interesting. Zygarde gets Psychic Fangs, probably not going to run it. Hoopa gets Psychic Fangs. That's good for Hoopa Unbound. Psychic Fangs is a pretty solid physical attack. Abominable gets Mach Punch, that's incredible. Taunt, First Impression, Icicle Spear, he just gets all incredible moves. Let him hit harder. Glycepod gets Night Slash, Agility, U-Turn, and Gunk Shot. Gunk Shot's huge, but U-Turn is probably the biggest of all of them. Because if Mega Glycepod loses its emergency exit, which it probably will, that means that you can now U-Turn First Impression. And that's kind of cool. The only issue with that is that now you have to run 2 bug moves, and you're already running Leech Life. So you kind of need Leech Life too. So maybe that'd be on like a set where you drop First Impression, but that's probably only going to be a thing in doubles, if anything. Don't know why they gave Palossand Fake Out, but I'm not going to complain. Dark Pulse, Power Gem, Nasty Plot, that's really cool. Night Slash, Mimikyu is kind of whatever. Charge Beam, Tri-Attack. Drampa really appreciates Tri-Attack. Power Gem, Vacuum Wave, Solar Blade. I'm just not even going to appreciate any buffs on Magearna. We didn't need that. Marshadow gets Power Up Punch, Mach Punch, and Vacuum Wave. Did it not already get Mach Punch? I don't know. It got Shadow Sneak, you know. Mach Punch, I guess, is a pretty cool buff. Dynamic Punch and Vacuum Wave are kind of whatever on Zeraora. Thievul got insane buffs. Roar, Icy Wind, Will-O-Wisp, Trailblaze, Fake Out, and First Impression. The big ones are Fake Out, Icy Wind, and Will-O-Wisp. Thievul now is a really decent support Pokemon. If you don't know, it was already a Psychic Seed user with like Snarl and stuff. But now you can run it with Fake Out, Speed Control, and Will-O-Wisp. And if you have like a Grassy Seed on it, you can run it next to like Rillaboom, and that's actually kind of cool. Textures, you get Zap Cannon. It's kind of whatever. Grap Locked, Bullet Punch, Mach Punch, Knockoff, Vacuum Wave. Mach Punch is cool. Knockoff is good. Nothing else really matters. Berserker. Why did we get Berserker Hypnosis? I don't know. I guess so it could like fit with the other Meowths. Outrage, Thunderwave, Bulk Up, Liquidation, Spikes. Spikes is cool. I think it might have already gotten it. Liquidation. Good for facing off against fire and ground types. Surfetched. U-turn is huge, actually. Iron Tails, whatever. Vacuum Wave is whatever. Mr. Rhyme gets Haze. That's awesome. Pretty sure it already got it, though. Infestation is kind of cool. Stealth Rock, Thunder Punch, Charge Beam, First Impression, Swagger. Runerigus. Infestation, Slash Shock, Parting Shot, Giga Drain, Knockoff, Icy Wind. Really, the big ones are Knockoff, Icy Wind, Parting Shot, just like with Cofagrigus. Phalanx, Low Sweep, Fake Out, Seed Bomb. Yeah, Fake Out, Defiant, kind of cool in doubles. Good Incineroar matchup. It's faster than Incineroar, but maybe just on the Mega form, Fake Out's worth it. But even then, you kind of... It's not often you're going to click Fake Out with Phalanx because you want to use No Retreat, so you're not going to be on the field very often. You're not going to be switching out very often, you know. Indeedee Mail. Moonblast is a huge buff to Indeedee Mail. I don't know why we gave a Heat Wave. That's stupid. I don't like that. Now it gets Expanding Force and Heat Wave. It's a little mini Delphox. Charge Beam, Vacuum Wave. We gave Moonlight to Indeedee Female. Tri Attack. It's actually a huge buff to Indeedee Female. Now it gets like a really good normal move. Wish, Moonblast, Sing. I don't like Sing. Overcoat gets Mortal Spin. I'm okay with that. You now get an Intimidate Mortal Spin user in doubles, which is awesome. Doxbun gets Flame Charge and Seed Bomb. Kind of cool. Squawkabilly. Iron Head Lunge, Bulk Up, Knockoff, Work Up, Seed Bomb, and Sky Attack. I mean, Knockoff Squawk. That's cool. Future Sight for Armor is whatever. Stone Edge on Sarah Ledge is kind of cool. Not probably going to get used too much. Mabostiff finally gets Knockoff. Really needed that, actually. Lunge and Seed Bomb, kind of whatever. Grify Eye gets Light Screen Reflect, so it's now a dual screens user. Really needed that, actually. Prankster was awesome. Seed Bomb, First Impression, and Toxic Spikes are kind of whatever. I guess Spikes are really good for singles. Scovillain gets Outrage, Thunderfang, Nasty Plot, and Flare Blitz. It really needed Nasty Plot and Flare Blitz, to be honest. You now have a physical Scovillain option for the Mega. Nasty Plot, I'd be okay if it learned Heat Wave. It doesn't learn Heat Wave, and that's my main issue with it. Because Scovillain could have been a like Sash, Nasty Plot, Heat Wave spammer in doubles with Chlorophyll, but whatever. Tinkaton gets Woodhammer and Bulk Up. Bulk Up on Tinkaton's actually huge. You now run like Leftovers Tink. Cyclozar gets Flame Charge, whatever. Poundstone gets Shadow Claw. You know, you don't always have to Lash Respects. That's decent on like band sets, but you probably also want to run Lash Respects because Lash Respects is broken. Triple Axle Flamigo is kind of cool. Brick Break, Knockoff, Whirlwind, Waterfall. Probably the biggest buffs are just Knockoff and Triple Axle. Dondozo gets Whirlpool and Iron Tail. Whirlpool on Dondozo, actually insane implications for singles. Pretty sure that's an insane implication for singles, right? Because it didn't get that before, did it? Dondozo. They gave it Whirlpool. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ignore the tier list. That's for later. Tatsugiri. Wow, you can just really just trap things in with Dondozo now. That's crazy. Ice Beam, Dragon Rush, Calm Mind, Flip Turn, Dark Pulse, Waterfall. I'm sorry, Dondozo gets Whirlpool and Yawn. Okay, sorry, I'm stuck on that. Yeah, they gave Tatsugiri Dark Pulse. That's kind of cool. Ancient Powers, whatever. Scald is incredible, actually. Scald's a great buff for it. Annihilate gets a knockoff. Probably not going to run it on most sets. Ice Hammer Excalibur is cool, but it definitely isn't going to run it over Icicle Spear with Loaded Ice, because Ice Hammer, as strong as it is, lowers the speed, and Bax doesn't want to get any slower. Psychic Fangs is cool, though. And Golden Go gets Surf, which is a huge buff, actually, because in singles, now it takes on ground and fire types. Okay, now that we're done with what I would argue is like the more boring half of the video, I want to talk about the move reworks, because there are, as far as I can tell, some pretty significant move reworks, and we'll talk about them here. Let me go over to my game. That's not it. Where is my capture card? I guess I have to turn off this. There we go. All right. So we're going to look at the move reworks available in the TM Salesman. And I'm also going to point out that they did rework Dark Void. I talked about it in the video the other day. Dark Void is now a 60 base power special attack that hits both opponents, makes them drowsy, and heals damage. It is crazy. All right, Comet Punch. 30 base power, hits 5 times. That is a 150 base power normal type move. Honestly, not bad anymore. Not a bad move anymore. It was 18 before. So that's pretty sick. Chilling Water works the exact same. Acid Spray, exact same. Trailblaze, exact same. Silver Wind, exact same. Ancient Power, Psychic Fangs. Magnet Bomb. Magnet Bomb is now a 95 base power physical move. The user attacks by launching steel bombs that stick to targets. So that's how it works in ZA. In the main series games, I'm not sure if this is going to stay, because it's probably not going to be like, because before Magnet Bomb was a move that didn't check accuracy and it was very weak. Now that it's strong, do you think maybe it's like physical future sight? I could see it maybe being like a physical future sight, but like steel type. That's a possibility. Or I guess like a physical version of Doom Desire, but weaker. Maybe that's how they make it work in the main series games. But if it is just 95 base power and on very specific Pokemon, I'm okay with that. That's a major buff to Pokemon like Stunfisk. Like if you give it to like very specific Pokemon, Stunfisk, Skarmory, I'm okay. Double hit, now 50 base power. It's 100 base power move now. Same with Dual Chop. Or no, Dual Wing Beat and Dual Chop, they got buffed. Before they were 40 base power and hit twice, so 80. Now it's 45, which is actually pretty awesome. So effectively 90 base power flying and 90 base power dragon moves. Blaze Kick is the same. Storm Throw, I believe, is the same. Frost Breath is the same. Muddy Water, First Impression, Scale Shot. Razor Wind got reworked. 40 base power, and the user attacks with numerous blades made of wind. This move has a heightened chance of landing a critical hit, but it takes some time to carry out. I am going to buy this for science because I keep having people try to explain to me that Razor Wind is actually a good move now. Mr. Boosted, but have you tried Razor Wind? It's a good move. It hits everything in the vicinity. And I'm like, no, it's not. Let me show you why. You ready? Let me get this on camera. Let's get that Absol out here. Get Absol. All right. We're going to teach you Razor Wind for science. I'm sorry that we have to, like, taint your move pool with Razor Wind. All right. Absol, get ready to raise your wind. Actually, I guess we don't have to do it against those. We can do it at the dojo. You ready for this? This is gonna get ready to be whelmed. Someone said like, oh yeah, it's better than Nihilite. And I'm like, no, it isn't. Are you stupid? All right, Razor Wind. Check this out. Takes a while to come out. All right. That's kind of okay. It homes, right? Wait, is Razor Wind good now? Is it actually good now? Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that they homed in on things. Last time I tried it, it just didn't home in on anything. Is it because I'm targeting that? What if I'm like fighting a group? Hold on, we have to go where there might be like a group of Pokemon. We're going to Area 1. Sorry, I just had my reality shattered. I did not realize it homed in on anything. All right, let me get a bunch of Pokemon kind of aggroed. All right, whatever. I just want to see, does it always just home in on one? This is probably not the area to test it. This is probably the area. All right. Yeah, because these guys will aggro. I just want to know if the move is scary or not. Okay, yeah. These guys are all aggroed. We'll aim for you. We'll Razor Wind. Hold on. What if I go from a distance? What if I'm like a little bit of a distance away? I want to know if it like only targets one. Oh, it does home in on one. Okay, maybe that's like not the worst. Maybe Razor Wind isn't the worst anymore, but we'll see. I have to figure out what learns it now. Okay. Anyways, my reality's been shattered. That's all I want to talk about today. The move reworks, the move pools. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.